Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is Random Guy on YouTube. Today I will be talking about Medifast Incorporated. Medifast is an American nutrition and weight loss company based in Baltimore, Maryland. Medifast produces, distributes, and sells weight loss and health-related products through websites, multi-level marketing, telemarketing, and franchised weight loss clinic. It is a small-cap company with capitalization of $1.2 billion and trades under the ticker symbol MED on New York Stock Exchange. The core of the business is multi-level marketing. Medifast owns the brand Optavia, and there is a whole community around it. They use something they call coach model. Coaches are recruited mostly from the client base. They have to pass some exams. However, they are not medical professionals. They help new clients with dieting and support them in one-on-one sessions. They also get their cut from sold goods. I understand that there is a negative connotation around multi-level marketing, but if it works, it works. There is a real product, and it must be at least somewhat successful, because I can't imagine anyone listening to a health coach who's fat. And the products do look good. Medifast sells meal replacement bars, shakes, snacks, soups, breakfasts, desserts, whole meals, and other stuff. They sell kits for around $400, which doesn't sound too expensive if it is supposed to replace meal for a whole month. However, the client has to adhere to a strict regime with very little calorie intake. Now let's look at some numbers. Firstly, revenue. Medifast is quite an old company, but for the last 5 years sales grew at a staggering rate, about 40% year over year. Now, earnings. In the last 5 years, earnings grew 56% a year. To be clear, I don't expect this level of growth to be sustainable, but having a history of growth doesn't hurt. So, how stable are margins? Net profit margin can be defined as net income as a portion of total sales revenue. In the last 5 years, the net margins oscillated around 10% plus, but since the company is slowing down in the last year, margin got a bit lower. It might be a bottom, but we cannot be sure. Medifast does not have any research and development, and instead give almost all their cash flow back to shareholders through dividends and buybacks. Current dividend yield is 5.7%, and the payout ratio is less than 50%. Personally, I don't like dividends because of the tax expense, but buybacks, especially at these levels, are awesome in my book. On this chart, the share price is in the blue and price to earnings ratio in the green. Current PE is 8.66, while the historical average is at 18.56. Since 2009, there were only 2 instances where PE got so low, and in both times it was a bottom for the share price and great buying opportunity. Medifast has no long-term debt. In the second quarter of 2022, they took out loan to buy back more shares at a reasonable price, but the share price did not bottom. In the third quarter, they repaid the loan, and I expect more buybacks coming. Current liabilities are $154 million, and current assets $230 million, from which only $69 million is in cash. So each quarter, they have to sell the inventory to repay current liabilities. Since their business model is subscription-based, this is probably okay. So let's recap. Medifast has a proven revenue and earnings growth with good margins. They grew through multi-level marketing, which is somewhat icky, but the company is in business for many years and the numbers do not lie. They have a very strong history of returning cash to stakeholders. Medifast is in consumer cyclical sector, and after the big plunge in share price, it might be close to bottom. If it isn't, at least I will get a dividend while waiting for a recovery. In any way, PE is at historic lows. Now let's look at the portfolio update. Last week was great for the markets. The S&P went up 2.5% since the last update and Nasdaq went up 4.3%. My stocks all went up nicely as well, especially the last week's big stride went up 28% after earnings. Overall, I am destroying the indices. As every week, I am putting $100 into the newly picked company. For $100, we will get 0.88 shares of Medifast at Friday's closing price of $114.22. For comparison, I will also put $100 to S&P 500 and $100 to Nasdaq. This portfolio is only virtual. However, I do own real stake in all the individual companies in this portfolio. Please keep in mind that I am just a random guy on YouTube and not your financial advisor, and none of the content of this video is a financial advice. If you want to invest your own money, please be very careful and do your own research. Thank you for watching and see you next week.